Hello, my name is Mike Hurst, and I'm at Highland Hill Farm. And today's topic we're going to talk about is which tree sequesters more carbon? A very fast-growing tree or a slow-growing tree? The answer is actually it's about the same. And this is why. When a fast-growing tree grows, it grows up for height, and it does get to the sunlight faster, and does grow faster because it gets more sunlight. But what is actually why it makes it the same is not how fast it grows or if it gets to the sunlight first, but rather how it uses the resources that it has. For a fast-growing tree, all resources growing up are used for gaining height and gaining width to have more sunlight in order to get more energy. Which might seem like, hey, the tree's growing and it's growing much faster, it's getting more sunlight, it's expanding, developing faster. It must be taking in more resources. And this is true for the first number of years. But where the advantage for the slow-growing tree is when it grows and it decides to use how it is going to use its resources, it goes and builds up barriers inside the tree, which are thick and are very hard for decay to get through. But in order to form these barriers, they need a lot of carbon to make the lignins and all the cell walls and all the different layers inside the tree. So although the fast-growing tree does get bigger faster, it doesn't have the mass, the density, the interior protection to protect itself from decay, whereas the slow-growing tree does. So, in the beginning, the fast-growing tree does sequester more carbon, but it gets up to size sooner. It has none of the interior protections against the decay or against any of the other drought effects that a tree can have. So it will succumb to the elements faster. A fast-growing tree usually gets its height fast and then dies. Classic example might be a tulip poplar, or it could be a silver maple. Very fast-growing, very weak. Once it's nicked, it has problems with decay inside the tree. On the other hand, you can have an oak, which is very slow-growing. It doesn't gain mass as fast as the other ones do, but it has layers and layers inside of it for protection. So if something happens, it has enough resources inside it to either A, completely compartmentalize the tree, or B, grow a completely new layer of tissue which cannot be affected by it. So when you look at it's not how fast a tree grows, but how it uses its resources. And over in the long run, the reason that the fast-growing tree does not or has the same amount of carbon sequestration in the long term is that when both trees they die, and all trees die, all the cells inside the tree decomposes. All of them. They all have specialized predators, they're facultative parasites, they're saprophytes, they're facultative saprophytes, which all have the ability to break down any tissue that the tree has. So in the entire lifespan of both trees, it's both stagnant. That's why they're both the same. Different uses of resources inside the tree, but they may seem like in the beginning the fast-growing tree sequesters more carbon, and may seem at the end that the slow-growing tree sequesters carbon more. But overall, even though the fast-growing, very fast effect, instant gratification of the tree getting big, you might see the caliber expand, and it's just using resources inside the tree differently than the slow-growing tree, which grows slow, lots of protection, so it can withstand the elements longer. But in the end, they both die, and in the end, they both have all their carbon they sequestered released.
Well, thank you very much, Mike. It's an interesting topic there. Thank you for your help. And if anybody has any questions about their trees or shrubs, this is Dr. Michael Hurst, Highland Hill Farm, tree expert extraordinaire, delivering and planting trees up and down the East Coast. Give him a call, 215-651-8329. This is the foliage of a Helleri holly. Helleri holly is a green evergreen that grows about a foot high, maybe 2 foot wide. It's slow growing, and it's great for along a walkway, a pathway, or if you want to cover up a utility box. It's a nice evergreen. It's easy to grow. It likes a little bit of pruning. We're here at Highland Hill Farm on Route 313 in Fountainville, PA. And we have a lot of other types of hollies for you. For example, that's the green luster holly. And we have more hollies, as well as boxwood, and many other kinds of trees, plants, and shrubs. We're growing on a couple hundred acres here in Fountainville, and we also have a couple thousand acres in Milan, PA, in Bradford County. We deliver and plant up and down the East Coast, so call us for your tree and shrub needs at 215-651-8329. Again, this is your Helleri holly foliage right here. A nice little plant.